Hi, and welcome to the Master Your Calm webinar. So we're going to be covering the secret for staying calm and confident in control as a leader. And yes, no meditation in the woods is required. My name's Tara Halliday and I'm a transformational leadership coach. So I go beyond standard leadership training. My work focuses on optimizing the automatic unconscious behaviors of the body and mind, the unseen forces that shape your performance. By addressing the root causes of stress, reactivity and self-doubt, I empower leaders to achieve effortless confidence and peak performance. I'm a specialist in imposter syndrome and I've written 2 Amazon bestsellers on that topic: Unmasking, The Coach's Guide to Imposter Syndrome, and Outsmart Imposter Syndrome. We'll cover a few things today. Firstly, why calm is the key. I'd say it's essential to great leadership. I'm going to walk you through the 3-step power reset to get you calm instantly. Then we'll look at how you can extend that calm to your team and explore the secret to preventing getting triggered in the first place. And finally, I have a transformational offer for you to help you thrive. This is Karen, a senior leader, and she was having difficulty staying calm. She found herself to be quite reactive. She'd be in a meeting, and if she felt she was being criticized or undermined or challenged, or sometimes even just disagreed with, she would find herself getting irritated and defensive. She would get snappy with her team. The consequence of that is that her team really didn't like working with her. They'd shy away. She'd find herself isolated, and she knew she'd lost a couple of promotion opportunities because she just seemed to get angry so quickly. She had this hair trigger, anger, defensive response. Karen was being triggered into the fight nervous system response. Now, there are 3 identified nervous system responses to a stress, to whenever your brain feels like you're under threat. There is a fight, as we saw with Karen, where you get angry and defensive, irritable, snippy. Then we have flight, which generates an awful lot of anxiety, and you simply want to run away. In a meeting, when you can't run away, you might find yourself withdrawing, and either emotionally or just decide not to participate. Flight also shows up where you might run away from an opportunity. You decide that the situation is too stressful and you want to run away, which sometimes means leaving a job, leaving a career, leaving a relationship. The final one is freeze. This is literally the rabbit in the headlights moment where your body locks up, you feel paralyzed, you might hold your breath, you might feel like you can't talk, your mind goes blank, and the feeling that goes with it is overwhelm. When people hear about fight, flight and freeze, they assume it's to do with severe traumas like life and death situations, and certainly those do trigger the fight and flight response, but also are normal everyday situations, a conflict, a disagreement, a difficult conversation, or a high stakes presentation. These are all typical things can also trigger your system into fight or flight or freeze. These nervous system states are a physiological response. So in fight or flight, your heart rate increases, your temperature increases, your blood pressure increases. And what's going on is that in this state, the blood is diverted from various parts of the body to your large muscle groups, your arms and your legs, to allow you to fight something off, defend yourself, or run away. The problem with that is that one of the places that the blood gets taken away from is the prefrontal cortex, which is the front part of your brain. And this is the logical thinking and strategic planning part of the brain. When the blood flow gets taken away from there, it has a lack of nutrients, a lack of oxygen, it literally cannot perform as well as at your peak. So the fight or flight has a serious impact on your ability to perform at your best. With the freeze, you might hold your breath, and that deprives oxygen in your brain. It has the same effect. Various changes in work performance have been measured when people are triggered into the fight, flight and freeze. Princeton University found that your IQ, your intelligence, drops by 13 points. Now the average intelligence is 100, so 13 is a lot to lose. And that means that you don't make such good decisions and you're more risk-taking. Your creativity also drops by 50%, so your ability to solve problems that come up is seriously diminished. Your emotional reactivity increases. So we saw with Karen, she'd get frustrated, irritable. With flight, the state, it would be anxiety, and with the freeze state, it would be overwhelm. And so you're not as calm and collected and as mindful and deliberate as you want to be because you're reacting automatically. It also makes you reduce your willingness to cooperate and to trust other people. When your system is activated, it's like having a loud siren going off right next to your ear, going danger, danger, danger. So it makes you naturally more suspicious and potentially hostile to people around you. And one of the biggest problems of all of these changes that affect your performance and your ability to operate at your peak is that if you don't do anything, the effect can last up to 4 hours. When you get triggered into this state, the stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, get dumped into your bloodstream and the blood carries it to your muscles, all to help you defend or run away. But if you do nothing, it can take up to 4 hours for your blood flow to rebalance and for these stress hormones to get reabsorbed by the liver. So if you can imagine, if you get triggered first thing in the morning and it lasts 4 hours, and then you get triggered after lunch, you will have spent the whole day in this activated state, which is lowering your performance and your capacity to do your work as best you can. It's a serious impact. When it comes to leadership, the consequences are high. You can have lost opportunities like we saw with Karen. It affects your focus and it means that you're distracted, so you're not present with your team or in negotiations or with clients. It has a negative effect on your performance, as we just saw, and it reduces the impact that you're able to have, because while you're in this triggered state, you're not at your best, you're not inspiring people. In fact, your nervous system is communicating to everyone around you that there is some danger here. And it makes them feel that way too. It affects the team dynamics. Not only are you modeling emotionally reactive behavior, but it changes the way that people are willing to interact, like we saw with Karen's team, who really didn't want to work with her because she was so easily triggered. As a leader, what you model in your behavior is what becomes the work culture, and it becomes a culture of stress. And finally, it affects your job satisfaction. You're continually frustrated that you're not working at your best. You might criticize yourself when you have been reactive or when you have missed opportunities. And so it affects your satisfaction of your work and your career as well. So there are two ways you can be. With an activated nervous system, stormy seas. With a calm nervous system, calm seas. Now, which one do you want to be? Which one will take you further, faster and easier? In 2012, the Asada Business School did some research. They were trying to identify what makes a transformational leader. So they set up some research and they took their MBA students and they wired up their brains to electrodes. They took all sorts of measures of their heart rate variability, blood pressure, skin conductance, all sorts of things. And they got this group all wired up to do a difficult case study together. And they were able to establish who of the group was a transformational leader. And they found it was not the person who had the most airtime, not the one who had the best ideas, not the one who spoke the best, not the one who was the most charismatic. They found that the transformational leaders consistently were those who could regulate their nervous system better than most. This neuroregulation is the key to great leadership. By regulating the nervous system, it means not being in the triggered state, not being in fight, flight or freeze. And how can we do that? I'd like to share with you the power reset, which is 3 steps to get yourself calm quickly whenever you notice that your nervous system has been triggered. That is, whenever you get into fight, flight or freeze. The 3 steps are to shake out, to breathe and to reconnect. And I'll take you through these now. The first thing to do is shake out, and I'll demonstrate. So stand up and you're going to flick your hands like you're shaking thick mud off them. And then get faster, get your shoulders involved, up and down, bounce on your knees a bit, and then on one leg, shake one leg, shake the other leg, shake your back like a wet dog. Do this till you're slightly breathless. That vigorous shaking of your arms and legs is rebalancing the blood flow in your system, which means that the excess is being taken away from your arms and your legs and it gets put back to your brain where you need it most. The increased blood flow, it means the stress hormones of cortisol and adrenaline are sent back to your liver to be extracted quickly from your bloodstream. It means that your whole system is able to get calmer fast. Next we breathe, and we're going to use a box breath that's used by the special forces. They recognize that staying calm under pressure is essential. And the box breath is quite simply, you inhale for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4, hold for 4. So you're going around this box. Do this 2 or 3 times. The mechanism here is that when you breathe, generally, it's automatic. When you take control of your breath and you do a very regular rhythmic breathing like this, slowing down your breath, it communicates to your nervous system. There's a vagus nerve that runs from your brain all the way through down to your stomach. It's the one that gets triggered and communicates we need to go into fight, flight and freeze. By doing the regular breathing, you're moving the diaphragm and it's communicating back to the vagus nerve that the danger's over. Everything's safe, no need to react. In the freeze state, you've stopped holding your breath, you're doing deliberate breathing, and that reoxygenates your blood, and the blood flow to your brain is then rich for good thinking. The final step is reconnect, and this is reconnecting to your senses. So take a look around the room and count or label everything that you see that's blue. Then when you've done that, listen out what you can hear and identify the sounds. So I can hear some birds, I can hear some traffic, I can hear the fan on my laptop. Finally connect with touch. So feel either your feet on the ground or your back of your legs on your chair. Feel the pressure, the physical pressure of that connection. And then stroke your arms down. Cross your arms, stroke them down from shoulder to elbow like you would stroke a pet. And what we're doing here is we're deliberately engaging our senses to look around, hear around, touch, to reassure the brain that there is no tiger in the room, there is no immediate threat here. And that also helps calm the nervous system because it calms the brain and says the danger, whatever the danger is, it's now past. These 3 steps in that order, and it's not one of these 3 which you do like, but all 3 of them will get you to a very calm place very, very quickly. If you notice that you go into freeze state, so before you do those 3 steps, do some stretching. First, stretch your fingers and your toes. Get that really gentle moving and turn it into a bigger stretch. You might yawn. Just get a bit of movement into your body. Then do the 3 steps of the power reset. Now, when do you use the power reset? Well, you can use it routinely before any event that you might find challenging, a high pressure, high stakes negotiation, a difficult conversation, a tricky meeting. Do it before because this is going to bring you to calm, and you can walk in calm in your most present and resourceful state. Do it whenever you notice yourself getting triggered. If you can do it as soon as you get triggered, that cuts the time when you're not in your best to as short as possible. I find you're in a meeting or something, create a break if you can, a 5-minute fresh air break, a bathroom break, whatever you can do and get away with doing will be helpful, because you can then take yourself away, do the power reset. And also immediately after any stressful events. So if you've had a high stakes negotiation, a difficult conversation, a tricky meeting, then when you come out, do it as soon as you can after that. Because the mastery in the power reset is to get yourself back to the calm state as soon as you possibly can. Now, people ask, what do I do in public? I'm in the middle of the meeting, I can't stand and shake out. Very true. So what can you do when you're in the public eye around a group of people? First, be aware of it. Just noticing that you've been triggered in the state can help take the judgment that you might have about it, or the automatic reactivity about it, because you're stepping back and go, oh, I'm in the flight state. Oh, I've just frozen. And even that is a helpful little break. Well, you can't get up and shake in the moment. What you can do subtly is you can squeeze and release your hands, or your toes, or your buttocks, subtly so people can't see it. That helps with just a little bit of rebalancing of the blood flow. The box breathing, when you do it gently, quietly, you can do wherever you are, and that's helpful too. The reconnection with your senses, what you can see, what you can hear, what you can feel, also can be done very subtly. So there are a few things you can do while you're in the moment in the meeting, and make sure that after that event, you do the full power reset. Now, I would always advise you do this in a private place if you possibly can, a private office. At worst, you can use a bathroom stall. Just be careful when you shake out not to hit your hands on the side of the walls. And if you have any injuries, if you have any pain or anything, watch out for it. Don't do more than you can comfortably do.